have a long face shape. I kind of keep everything concentrated. Okay, panic over. And then the second palette I was actually gifted by one of my ex-best friends. Can I say that? I feel like I have to lean back so I can see you guys. Rimmel eraser? Rimmel what? My brows are literally a different shape every single day. Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking at this video. So today is going to be a, dare I say, a makeup tutorial slash just showing you how I do my makeup. I'm hesitant to call it everyday makeup, but honestly sometimes my everyday makeup is a little bit extra. We'll see what I call it in the end, or I'm sure you'll see by the title. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I don't know if you can see, but I've just freshly washed my face with African black soap and my skin is a bit dry. So the first thing I moisturize my face with is my homemade whipped shea butter. I filmed a whole video on this, so I will link it below, how I made my own skin moisturizer. I know this is a finishing spray, but I also like to use it as a primer because it's mattifying. So I just zoomed in with no prior warning. Yes, I'm about to do my eyebrows. That's the next step in my routine. This is in the color 04. It's kind of rubbing off, but yes, Rimmel Brow Weight in the color 004. Just following the natural curve of my eyebrow. I start in the middle and then work my way out. Just light strokes until I'm happy with the color payoff and the shape. And I try not to go too far to the front because that's where I'm going to blend out by brushing it. Do my arch. I'm happy with that. So then I'm going to take this double-ended spoolie and brush the front of my brows just so they can fade a little bit more naturally. A little bit dramatic, but I fix it all with concealer, so that is what I'm going to do next. Conceal my eyebrows. Don't know if I should be embarrassed about this, but for concealer, guys, I still use the LA Girl Pro concealer and I use the shade Toffee. This concealer lasts super long, blends out so smoothly, and whenever I do my makeup with it, it really just never fails me. So LA Girl Pro concealer is the concealer that I would always go for. I'm just gonna take a little bit on this angled brush. And I prefer an angled brush because it just gets into the creases and cracks of my eyebrow. And I take that forward just to make sure that I'm creating a straight line. Then blend that down. Okay, and so now I'll do the other side. This is why I drag it out to the end, just so that I can see if these two lines are about to meet, and that's how I know my eyebrow is about to be even. So let me just neaten those up a bit. Once these two concealer lines meet is when I know that my eyebrow is done. I feel like I have to lean back so I can see you guys. Using the leftover concealer on my brush, I'm gonna do the top of my brows. My brows are literally a different shape every single day. Sometimes you just have to accept your brows as they are. Don't know if I'm happy with them. I'll fix them at the end if I have to, but... So before I blend out my concealer, I'm also going to conceal my very dark circled eyes just on the lid so I can get started on my eyeshadow. And to conceal that, I'm going to be using the Rimmel eraser? Rimmel what? Honestly forgot what this is called. So this is the one I am currently using, and then I have a backup. So I'm going to blend this out with a damp beauty sponge. And as you can see, they just kind of naturally blend into each other in a nice ombre kind of way. Okay, so then I'm going to turn this around and use the more cleaner side and blend the top of my eyebrows. I basically just lightly tap and go back and forth until it's blended. And remember, tap, don't rub. Because I'm tapping, it means I'm not really rubbing away my eyebrow. So as you can see, before it starts creasing a lot, I'm gonna quickly set with the Collection Pressed Powder Matte Finish. This is in Translucent, number 3, Translucent. Okay, so now we have a base to work with. It was very important, especially since I have oily skin, that I set my eyelids because the oils were coming through and as you can see it was starting to separate and crease. Now that I've set my lids, I have a smooth base to start applying my eyeshadow. Okay, so since I'm trying to make this video beginner friendly and also affordable, the two main eyeshadow palettes that I personally use and that I would recommend are the Morphe palettes. If you go on Morphe's website or any beauty site that sells Morphe, they have so many amazing palettes that are high quality but also affordable. Like, you get value for your money with Morphe. Okay, so this is my first Morphe palette that I ever got and it is 35N. Basically has a bunch of matte colors. They are all super beginner friendly. Love this color especially, as you can see. And then the second palette I was actually gifted by one of my ex-best friends. Can I say that? And then the second palette I was also gifted by an old friend of mine. And honestly, I love them both. But if I had to really choose, I would choose this palette over the other one because look, guys. Look at the variety. Ooh, this is super dirty. Hold on. Let me clean. Honestly, excuse how dirty this palette is, but look at the variety of colors it has. So really and truly, if I had to pick between the two of these, I would go for this one. And this one is the 35R palette. So in my day-to-day makeup routines, I use either palettes depending on how I'm feeling, or I'll use a combination of both. For this video, we'll see what I do. I'll let you know. So as a beginner, I would say there are 4 main steps to eyeshadow that you can kind of use as a guide. Number 1 is your base. As you can see, this can kind of act as a base. So any setting powder or any plain color that you put at first, and make sure it's a bit lighter than your skin tone so that the colors pop a little bit more. And then number 2, a transition shade that you'll kind of put in the middle here just so everything blends seamlessly. And then number 3, I would recommend a darker color for your outer corner or maybe in your crease. And number 4, any kind of lighter or shimmery color that you can put inside or just on top to finish the look together. Please take that as a guide. That's just basically how I've learned to do my own eyeshadow from when I was a beginner. So right now, I guess you could call this a base on my eye, but I could also go in with one of these light colors and apply that all over my eye, and that would still count as a base. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, and another tip, since I have hooded eyes and like my skin is quite movable, I prefer to pat in my eyeshadows and then just kind of dust away the excess, because if I just go in straight with the blending, my skin will be moving around and it might just get a bit messy. So I like to start off by just patting down the eyeshadow and then just lightly buffing it away, because that's how I achieve a flawless finish on my eyeshadow. Of course, I have to use my favorite transition shade, which is normally like an orangey or yellowy color. I'm just gonna put this in the middle / crease of my eye. So again, I just pat that in before I start brushing it in. Okay, so you can see how the transition shade has made a difference. When you do your eyeshadow in this way, it helps you build up your eyeshadow look in just a more organized and put together way. You can kind of see what you're doing and where you need to add a little bit more eyeshadow. So pat, 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 and then blend, blend, blend. So your transition color should never be too dark, but it also should never be too light. It should be a color maybe closer to your skin tone, but something that gives a little bit of definition to your eye. Okay, so we've done the base, we've done the transition, and now I'm going to do the darker color in the outer corner of my eye. So I'm going to take this color. I don't know, it's just really speaking to me. So this color. And also, if you have hooded eyes like me, it helps to take a mirror and then look downwards, because then you can see your eyelid space and where you need to work your brush into. So I'm going to start by patting it on the outer corner. And honestly, patience is the key with eyeshadow and blending. I had to learn that the hard way. So just gently blend that into the outer corner in almost like a V shape. And then slightly just bring that into that transition shade in the middle, just so it blends in seamlessly. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Then take your original brush that you did your transition shade with, and then just blend out the edge where the two colors meet. So basically, I'm going to keep building up the darker shade until I'm happy with how it's looking. Referring back to those 4 colors I told you about, we have the base, the transition, the darker color. Now I'm going to do the final color, which is the lighter color in the inner corner. So I want to do something that matches my top, so I'm going to use this color here. Pat, pat, pat. And I'm going to take this up into the inner corner and just pat all around that area. And then do the same for the other side. Although I'm not gonna lie, I think I want it a little bit brighter just in the inner corner, so I'm gonna take one of these. I think I'll take this one. Most of the eyeshadow is done. Okay, so my eyes are done for now. I don't know why. I go back and forth in my routine. I'll come back to my eyes right at the end, but for now, I'm going to move on to my base. The setting spray / primer we used has now settled in. My skin is looking a bit more... My skin is now ready to apply foundation. For foundation, I use the Maybelline Fit Me 356. This is Warm Coconut. I use a brush and then I use a blender. And always remember to blend down your neck just so that, you know, it looks a bit more seamless. And I try my best not to drag my skin. I just pat the foundation into my skin. Okay, so now I can go ahead and use the sponge. Then I'm going to use the same Maybelline Eraser Concealer under my eyes. This might look a bit crazy, but honestly, this is exactly how I do my concealer. I don't really do too much on my forehead and I don't do too much on my skin. I feel like I have a long face shape, so I kind of keep everything concentrated in one spot just so that, you know, it makes my face snatched in a little bit more, just on the center. So I'm now going to blend out my concealer. Wherever you place your concealer should be where you want it blended, so you just pat on top until it's blended. And then to avoid the creasing and my excess skin, I like to look up so that I blend into the creases. Then I also like to just move my nose a little bit just so I can get into this crease. And then I'll go ahead and blend the tiny bits I put on my nose. And blend the excess concealer up into my forehead. I forgot to mention that's the reason I don't put too much on my forehead, because I know I'll have excess concealer on my sponge, so I use that to blend into my forehead. Otherwise, my forehead would crease so much because I have these lines. So I try to avoid putting too much products on my forehead. Okay, so I'm rushing because this part I have to be super quick, but I'm gonna set my face again with the same powder and then I'll do another loose powder on top of that. So as you can see, I'm really targeting those lines just before they crease with the wet product. I use the powder as a dry product to set that into my skin. Okay, panic over. Guys, when you have skin that creases super easy like mine, you really have to work quick when you have wet products. So I'm basically just lightly setting all of that concealer with a brush and a light hand. I know it looks like I'm being rough, but with a light hand, I'm setting all of that in. Can you see my line? This is the line I'm talking about. That line collects so much product. Guys, I'm so sorry that it's rubbing off, but I'm now going to take the Revolution loose setting powder and I'm going to dust this underneath my eyes. So I like to take a little bit just in the lid. And then with the same brush, tap in and then tap the excess off. And then for my nose contour, I just like to do a line just down my nose, down the side of my nose. and then the tiniest bits just on my forehead. So typically I don't bake my face for super long. Once I've applied the powder, I go straight into the rest of my face, and to do that I'll be using this Primark powder. I don't know what it is. Oh, it literally says right here 513 in warm. That's how it looks like. In really gentle circular motions, I will work that into first the bottom of my face, then my forehead. The remaining excess product on my brush, I'll start brushing away the setting powder. Then as I get to the inner corner of my eye, I prefer to pat away rather than drag away the product. For me and my skin, it just helps the product to remain more in place and look a bit more flawless. And then to contour my face, I prefer a powder contour. I'm going to use a super old Primark powder. I don't even know if this still exists, but the color is Rich Espresso. It was £2, guys, literally £2. Very affordable, but it has lasted me so long. Even the top came off, but guys, I'm yet to find something I prefer more than this powder, so I'm still gonna hang on to it. So as always, I just lightly tap, and then when I look to the side, I'm going to just lightly drag up from almost the top of my ear down to my cheek. I'm gonna drag upwards. Do you see how just lovely and subtly it contours my face? Then I'll do my jawline. That's kind of shy to come out, but guys, I will get my jawline back. Just wait. And then for my nose, I take the same brush with the excess powder and then just lightly go underneath my nose like this. Because I already have a naturally pointy nose, it helps to follow the natural lines of my nose. So that I will just follow the way my nose goes down like this. And on the other side, that is literally my nose contour. Okay, so for my blush, I use this Model's Own pressed powder. I can't even show you the front because there's literally nothing on there. But I remember this being super affordable. I don't think it cost me more than £5 or £4. I like to use this as a bronzer slash blush. So I just put it in between my cheekbone like this. And every time I apply anything on my cheeks, I have it going diagonally downwards. I feel like it helps warm up my face a little bit more. Okay, so now we're really up close and personal, but moving on to my lips, I'm going to be lining them with the Rimmel London Soft Kohl. This is actually an eyeliner pencil. Basically just gonna outline my lips. And by outline, I might also mean slightly overline. Then I'm gonna take this W7 Skinny Lippin matte lip color in Angel Kiss. I basically just put this in the center of my lips where I'm not lined. And then kind of your lips together. I hope that makes sense, you know? I normally use my fingers to just blend that out, but maybe I should try and be a bit more professional. Maybe I'll try and use this lip brush. Taking this brown velvet lip color, I'm going to just go over the lip liner. Then I'm going to take the same one but in this corally orange color. This one is called 16 Honeywood, and then this one is called 23 Chocolate Corsets. Okay, maybe we're going past the point of beginner friendly, but the amazing thing about makeup is you can layer things to the extent that you like them. So if there's products that you don't like, you can just not use them. Or if you just prefer a more natural looking lip, you could just line your lips and put on gloss. Honestly, it's not even worth mentioning. I'm just gonna add a basic gloss. It's even turned brown because of the amount of times I've used it. You can find clear lip glosses almost anywhere. I really love super glossy lips, so the final lip product is going to be this Amy Way Makeup Academy Sheer Finish Lip Gloss in the shade Perk Me Up. I'm going to focus this one in the center of my lips. So as I said before, I like to go back and forth with my makeup. So now I'm going to finish off my eyes and we should be done, and then we'll do the setting spray. So let me just quickly go back to my eyes and do eyeliner and mascara. If it's lashes, I'm going to do that off camera, but I'll show you that these are the lashes I'll be using. They were £3. For my eyeliner, I'm going to be using the W7 liquid liner. For mascara, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Mega Volume Collagen 24. I don't know. So because I have hooded eyes, I try to keep as much of my lid space as possible. So that's why you see I will only do a wing. And if I was to do the full thing, then it would completely take over my eyes. So I'm going to try and put this on. If I try and do it on camera, I promise you, it will be a mess. I'm honestly not at that level to do a tutorial of how to apply lashes, but let me just see how they look. I might either come back with these same eyes or I'll come back with these bad boys on. Because now I'm waiting for my lash glue to dry. I'm going to apply just a little bit of shimmer in my inner corner and on my cheeks. And I'm just going to take literally an eyeshadow from here. I normally use these two. I'm going to apply some on my cheek. Just tap that in the tip of my nose and then down the bridge of my nose. So somehow I managed to apply my lashes. If they're looking a bit uneven, please let's just ignore that because that was so hard. Okay guys, I'm gonna let my hair down and show you the final look. Oh, before that, Ayo. So this is the final look, guys. This has turned into, remember at the beginning of the video I said I'm just going to do my makeup and I don't know what this video is going to be. This video has turned into a beginner friendly, I'm going to say beginner friendly, drugstore makeup tutorial. Yes. We're just gonna go with that because I don't know what else to call this. But yeah guys, that's basically it from me today. Please do click subscribe and let me know what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. I love doing makeup, I love doing vlogs, I love doing hair, like I love doing a bit of everything. So expect some random videos from me. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.